Hey, we are in Miss Ramsey's 6th grade science class. We would like to welcome you to the EDCO 6th grade Weather Academy.
We will teach you what weather is all about and how it works. Weather affects us in lots of ways.
Sometimes we have bad weather, so we can't go to school. Sometimes we have a drought and crops can't grow.
Too much rain can cause flooding. Storms can be dangerous and affect what we can do.
Sometimes it is too hot or cold to go outside.
Weather can also control what sports we can do outside. Weather is a big part of our lives.
Do you own a weather map? There are lots of fun to read. True or false? Weather maps are real, which is true. Weather maps help us with weather, is true. There are 505 types of weather maps, which is false. There's only 5 of them, and weather channels use weather maps.
Weather maps can be fun for all ages. There are different types of weather maps. Without weather maps, we wouldn't be able to predict the weather. How do you read a weather map? If you are watching the news, they tell you some of the symbols off to the side, but if they don't, you'll learn some of them in this PowerPoint.
You will see some of these symbols on weather maps. And here's some different symbols. These are like more symbols, and low pressure and high pressure. And some of these on the side show like what can happen on a weather map. And this is an example of symbols on a weather map, like what they do and stuff.
A satellite weather map shows the weather from outer space.
The temperature on weather maps can be on the side. This is one of the most common ones that people will see. And weather maps can show the temperature also on the side. And weather maps can show the current temperature and which days there is. Thank you for watching our slideshow of how to read weather maps and how they work.
Hi, I'm Dane.
And I'm Zach.
And we're reporting for EDCO Elementary. Today we're going to tell you about storms.
Tornadoes, hurricanes, thunderstorms, and tsunamis are all storms. Dane, what is a tornado?
Zach, tornadoes are whirlwinds hanging down from a giant thundercloud high in the air. They cause damage to a lot of houses. One tornado sucked up a whole lake, and then when it stopped, there's a bunch of fish and frogs laying around.
Sweet.
Zach, now that we know what tornadoes are, can you tell me what hurricanes are?
Sure, hurricanes are made of strong winds and heavy rain. Wind speeds can go from 74 to 318 miles per hour, and they occur in the western Atlantic Ocean. They can destroy buildings and cause flooding.
Wow, hurricanes are cool.
Yeah. Now, Dane, tell me how thunderstorms are formed.
Okay, thunderstorms form when water droplets collide and combine with each other. As they get bigger, it starts to rain. Zach, how does the lightning form?
Lightning is formed by electricity buildings up in a cloud. The negative charge is on bottom and the positive charge is on top. The negative leaks out the bottom and attracts to the positive charge on the Earth's object.
Now our final question. How do storms affect the weather?
Storms affect the weather because they bring wind and precipitation.
That's awesome. Today I hope you learned about something about storms at least. And that's all the time we have today.
So next time you are in a thunderstorm, don't forget your umbrella.
Hello, this is Haley and Elmer with the Wind Report. Today I have with us special guest star Tony, wind expert. So Tony, how long have you been a wind expert?
Since February 13, 2013.
Okay, let's find out what role wind takes in the weather. Elmer's got a question. Oh, okay. How does wind affect the weather?
Wind affects the weather by making a hot day cool or making snow melt by a warm wind on a cool day. Wind can bring rain or blow clouds away.
Now I have some questions. How does wind form?
The sun heats the Earth's surface, causing air to increase in temperature, expand, and rise upward.
Okay, how come wind comes from different directions then?
Wind comes from different directions because the earth is rotating.
So then what is wind exactly?
Wind is cold and hot air moving. Hot air rises and cool air replaces warm air, creating wind.
Wow, Tony, you really know a lot about wind for just starting to learn about it on February 13th, 2013.
Thanks. Do you mind if I quiz you?
Sure.
How does wind affect the weather?
Wind affects the weather by bringing rain or blowing clouds away.
Correct. Why does wind come from different directions?
Wind comes from different directions because the earth is rotating.
Correct.
Thanks, Tony. Now that we all know about wind, this has been Haley and Elmer with the Wind Report.
Hi, I'm Jared, and I'm interviewing Alex. Alex, what is a cold front?
A cold front is the separating of two air masses of which the cooler one replaces the warm one.
Alex, what is a warm front?
A warm front is a transition zone between a mass of warm and cold air is replacing.
What do they do?
When they meet, they make a storm.
What are some different types of fronts?
Some other fronts are stationary and occluded fronts.
Warm fronts replace cold air.
Warm fronts come from southwest to northeast.
Cold fronts move from northwest to southeast.
If the moisture is warm, bring thunderstorms.
A warm front can bring light rain.
This is 4 weather fronts. Okay, let's see what you've learned.
Today's contestant is Ethan.
What are the 4 different kinds of fronts?
Warm fronts, cold fronts, stationary fronts, and occluded fronts.
What do they do? What do warm fronts? Where do warm fronts come from?
Warm fronts come from the southwest.
Where do cold fronts come from?
Cold fronts come from the northwest.
And there you have it.
Hi, today Erica and I are reporting from Edco Elementary about precipitation. Erica, what exactly is precipitation?
Well, Cal, precipitation is any form of liquid or solid water particles that fall from the atmosphere. Rain, snow, sleet, and freezing rain are all different kinds of precipitation.
But you forgot one. Hail is also precipitation. First, let's talk about rain. Rain is when cloud droplets keep coming together in the cloud and get too heavy. The droplets fall as rain.
This is a great picture of rainfall. Cal, did you know that snow is tiny ice crystals that stick together in the clouds and fall?
Wow, that is very interesting. Look at this picture of snow.
Do you know what the difference is between freezing rain and sleet?
Yes, sleet freezes when it is falling, but freezing rain freezes when it hits a frozen surface.
So this picture is sleet.
Yes.
And this picture is freezing rain?
Yes. Hail is ice that keeps forming until it is too heavy and falls.
So how exactly does precipitation affect the weather?
Well, precipitation changes the humidity after it rains. A high pressure comes in and it is fairly nice weather. If we don't have precipitation, it would be very dry and hot.
Now we are going to play a game show with Mr. Beans and Samantha.
We will hold up pictures and they will have to say what kind of precipitation it is.
This is the first picture.
Snow. Yes, you are correct, Mr. Beans. This is the next one.
Hail. Yes, now we are tied 1-1. This is the tiebreaker.
Freezing rain. Correct. Would you like to say any words for your victory? I've been waiting my whole life for this. Thank you for both playing.
Well, clouds are moving in, so I'm guessing there will be some sort of precipitation.
Rain, snow, sleet, and hail, know these terms you'll never fail.
Oh, we're on live TV, aren't we? Yeah, we should probably get back to learning about air pressure.
High pressure is when air particles are close together. High pressure often brings fair weather. Low pressure is when air particles are farther apart. Low pressure often brings bad weather. Lastly is air pressure. Air pressure is the force produced by the weight of the air pressuring down on Earth.
In an area of high pressure, it is usually above 30.1 inches. Low pressure is usually below 29.5 inches. Meteorologists track this with satellites. The high pressure symbol is the capital H, and the low pressure symbol is the capital L. Now for our quiz. Josephine, how many inches is the high pressure usually above?
Isn't it 30.1 inches?
That is correct. Now for our next question. Josephine, what is air pressure?
Air pressure is the force of the air pressuring down on Earth.
That is correct. Now that we have told you about air pressure, I should get back to my dancing.
Well, today one of my old friends stopped in to help me out with a few questions. Today she's going to teach you about forecasting meteorology. She's going to tell you the difference between forecasting and meteorology. Also, we're going to teach you why is there forecast meteorology, and there's also going to be a short quiz at the end, so listen close. So let's start, Eve. Why is there forecasting meteorology?
Well, Cody, we use forecasting and meteorology to predict the future weather, and it's also by dealing with the atmosphere.
So what is forecasting?
To predict the future weather.
Eve, okay, so you know forecasting, now what is meteorology?
It's dealing with the study of the atmosphere and weather.
So now we know what forecasting meteorology is. So, who invented them?
Aristotle invented meteorology, and Theodorus invented forecasting.
So now we hope you know about forecast meteorology. Now we're going to take a short quiz. Who invented forecasting, Eve? A. Katie, B. Nathan, C. Ramsey, D. Theophrastus.
D. Therapus.
Who invented meteorology? A. Bob, B. Fred, C. Aristotle, D. Holly.
C. Aristotle.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for listening.
Clouds are so important, and without them we wouldn't have weather. Come on into the clouds with us.
There are different types of clouds: cirrus, stratus, cumulus, and cumulonimbus clouds.
Cirrus clouds are thin white filaments or narrow bands of composition of crystals.
Stratus clouds are gray horizontal layers found in lower latitude.
Cumulus clouds are dense forms of puffs, mounds, towers with flat bases and tops.
Cumulonimbus thunderstorm clouds are large dense towers, altitude 3,000.
Did you know what clouds are made of? They are made of little drops of water or ice hanging in the atmosphere.
There are many things that comes out of clouds. Some are rain, snow, sleet, hail, lightning, and thunder. Now it's time for our game show. Okay, now it's time for our quiz show. Let's meet our contestants. First, we have Taco Lady. Next, we have Timmy Franny. Woo! And Amy. Okay, for our first round, we will hold up a cloud, and you need to tell us what cloud we are holding up. Write on your board, and we will ask you for your answer. First one, what cloud is this? Can you all see the cloud? What cloud is that? Okay. Taco Lady, can we see your answer?
Stratus.
Correct. Timmy Franny?
Stratus.
And Amy? Aloha. Okay. Now, our next cloud is, what cloud is this? What cloud is that? Okay, Taco Lady, can we see your answer?
Cumulus.
Correct. Timmy Franny.
Cumulus.
And Amy. You don't know. Okay, for our next one, we have this cloud. What cloud is that? Okay, Taco Lady, let's see your answer, please.
Cumulonimbus.
Timmy Franny
Cumulonimbus.
and Amy. Okay, and our last cloud. Taco Lady,
Cirrus.
Timmy Franny,
Cirrus.
and Amy. No, we are not done. Okay, and now we have our last round, and you just need to say yes or no, does this fall out of the sky? Rain. Yes or no? Okay, Taco Lady.
Yes.
Correct. Timmy Franny.
Yes.
Correct. Amy? Maybe. Okay. And a cute unicorn? Very cute unicorn. Okay, Taco Lady.
No.
Timmy Franny.
No.
And Amy. Maybe. Okay, and our last one, second to last. Snow. Does this fall out of the sky? Okay. Taco Lady.
Yes.
Timmy Franny.
Yes.
And Amy. Sorry, wrong. Okay, and our last one, tacos. Do tacos. Taco Lady.
Yes.
Timmy Franny
No.
and Amy. Okay. Now, in first place, we had Timmy Franny. Second place, we have Taco Lady.
Yay.
And last place, we have Amy. Sorry, Amy. Okay. Thanks for watching.
Precipitation is a big part of weather.
And we would like to teach it to you now.
Precipitation affects the weather in many ways.
Since water molecules make up clouds,
And clouds cover up the sun, so it can make it hot or cool. It affects the weather.
now let's talk about hail.
Hail forms from moisture and wind. Hailstones grow in size as they fall to the Earth's surface. They fall between 5 and 150 millimeters.
Hailstorms aren't really storms. It's just a side effect from a different storm.
Hailstorms happen in the more mountainous regions. Let's talk about sleet. Sleet begins as snowflakes.
Then the sleet falls into warmer air, and then they melt into raindrops.
After the droplets cool into the warmer air,
Then they freeze and turn into ice.
so sleet is basically frozen rain. Let's talk about rain.
Do you know about showers? Not the showers that make you clean. The other type of shower.
Shower is a type of rain. It is a brief rainfall.
Now let's talk about snow.
Snow forms when water vapor in the atmosphere freezes.
Snow kills hundreds of Americans per year through traffic accidents and avalanches.
In the early 1900s, people had fun names for different types of snow.
Such as fluffy snow for light puffy snow,
Sticky snow for sleet-covered snow, and mashed potato snow for heavy snow.
Sometimes it can be so cold
that it doesn't even snow because the water droplets freeze before they hit the ground.
Precipitation is involved in our crops, travel, and our whole lifestyle. Precipitation is our friend.
Remember all these lessons and you will be a precipitation expert.
Thank you for watching.
Good day. Today I'm going to talk to you about, well, hello, Lewis. What do you need on this fine day?
Why is it so hot out?
Well, it's probably from temperature and humidity.
Well, what is humidity and temp?
Well, temperature is warmth or coldness of an object or substance, and humidity is containing a high amount of water or water vapor, noticeably moist.
Oh, okay. I get it now.
And humidity also causes clouds, fog, snow, and rain. Now I'm going to tell you some more facts that you're going to have a quiz about. The hotter the air, the more water the clouds are holding. And if the air is too humid, no more water will evaporate. If the air is not too humid, water will evaporate. And now you have to remember what I told you. You have a quiz now. So, true or false? If the air is too humid, water will not evaporate.
True.
Good. What does humidity cause?
Clouds, rain, fog, snow. The end.
Thanks for watching, Miss. Thanks for joining us on Mrs. Ramsey's 6th Grade Weather Academy.
Oh. I'm standing outside in the extreme cold right now during a whoa! I'm standing outside in the extreme cold right now during a whoa! Hey there, did you know what an anemometer is? Well then if you don't, I will be telling you how an anemometer and other weather tools work and help meteorologists predict the weather. A barometer is the first tool I'll tell you about. A barometer helps us measure pressure in the atmosphere. A barometer is tied to a computer, which the results are composed on, and then the results are later put on maps. If the barometer rises, good weather is expected.
Now that he is done telling you about that silly barometer, I can finally tell you about weather satellites.
Hey, what exactly is a weather satellite?
Then I'll tell you. Weather satellites are awesome. They're blasted off like a rocket into space. Weather satellites take pictures of the Earth, telling us cloud cover, heat balance, and storm locations all around the world. Weather satellites are super awesome, but you know what is really cool? Do you really want to know? My friend Ethan was just about to tell you.
It's an anemometer. An anemometer kills 2 birds with 1 stone. They see the wind and they measure the wind. An anemometer is also known as a wind gauge. This is what an anemometer looks like. The wind blows it, it spins, and this thing rises and drops and tells you the weather, tells you the wind speed. So you get the point. All weather tools are awesome.
Sorry, he just got carried away there. Hey Ethan, do you know what a hygrometer is?
Hygrometers? Of course I know what they are. They are awesome. Seriously. They can measure the moisture or gas in the air. A hygrometer is like a thermometer with cotton or linen wick in the little ball. Evaporating water from the cotton or linen wick gets heat and causes the reading thermometer to drop or to raise.
You might know what a thermometer is, like such. Upside down. And a thermometer measures the temperature in both Fahrenheit and Celsius. The little bulb at the bottom heats up and the mercury rises. So the temperature rises if it's hot and drops if it's cold.
Now we know why this is happening. I hope you know how meteorologists predict the weather. I hope you're listening. This is Ethan and Sage,
and we'll see you next time.
Welcome to the Preston and Dylan Weather Show. Today our topic is about cold and warm fronts.
The hottest temperature ever recorded was in northern Africa at 136 degrees Fahrenheit. The coldest temperature ever recorded was in Antarctica at negative 126 degrees Fahrenheit. Dylan, do you know how warm and cold fronts affect our weather?
I do. They can create thunderstorms that can make hail balls, rain clouds, and tornadoes. It also does damage to our trees with the wind. Do you know how they create thunderstorms?
A warm front is warm air being pushed up by a cold front, which is cold air. Then warm air mass rises. As it rises, it turns into an area of clouds.
A warm front and a cold front are two types of weather. A warm front is like a heat wave, and a cold front is like a blizzard or a cold day.
A cold front can drop the weather to 15 degrees in 1 hour. Wow, that's very interesting. Also, a warm front goes up into the sky and it makes clouds.
By the way, did you get all the facts about cold and warm fronts? I hope you know they both can harm our weather. And thanks for watching our video. That's all.
Wow, the trees are really sneezing today.
Oh, Alexis, the trees aren't really sneezing. It's just the wind.
Get ready, we are going to teach you about wind and how it affects the weather. Morgan, what does wind do to affect our weather?
It lowers temperatures, it can move storms, it can carry clouds and warm and cold air to different areas of Alexis, what is wind?
Wind is the flow of gases on a large scale. Moving air is caused by differences in air pressure within our atmosphere. Wind is described with direction and speed. Wind is in motion. Morgan, how is wind made?
Wind is caused by air flowing from areas of high and low pressure. Warm and cold air are always changing places. When the sun's rays hit Earth, the land absorbs the heat. The warm air gets light, and the cold air replaces it. Alexis, what are the advantages of wind?
Wind power, blowing seeds to grow plants, birds use wind to fly, and free amount of technology used efficiently. Now you know why the trees are sneezing.
Also, now you know about the wind and how it affects our weather.
I hope you liked our show. And learned a lot about wind and how it affects our weather. This is Lexi Morgan signing off.
Today we're going to teach you about hurricanes, tornadoes, blizzards, and tsunamis. We're also going to tell you some fun facts and then have a game show at the end.
A hurricane is a type of storm that can last 10 days, and if it is over water, it gets more powerful. It lasts longer over humid water and dies out quickly over cold water. Another word for hurricane is typhoon. Damage by hurricanes is caused by wind, flooding caused by storm surge, and flooding caused by rainfall.
A tornado is a storm that usually lasts for less than 1 hour and is less than 1 mile wide. Some tornadoes can get up to 250 miles per hour or more. The path of the damage can be at least 50 miles long. About 800 tornadoes occur in the USA every year.
A blizzard is the worst type of winter storm. They kill many people and last at least 3 hours. And you can't see over a quarter mile or less. One of the longest blizzards was 15 hours in Alaska.
A tsunami is a type of storm when waves form and travel away from the center of the ocean. It's kind of like when you throw a rocket in a pond and the splash goes away from where the rock lands. A tsunami can travel as fast as 450 miles per hour. The word tsunami is actually a Japanese word. The first part, su, means harbor, and nami means wave. So it actually means harbor wave.
Now it's time for some fun facts.
A ring around the moon means that a storm is coming. You can see the ring because clouds have droplets of water that will freeze, and the light shines through the droplets, and that's why you see a ring.
Lightning can shoot from ground to clouds, from clouds to the ground, and into mid-air from the clouds can shoot from cloud to cloud.
Lightning can strike the same place many times. The Empire State Building has been struck by lightning over 20 times in one storm.
Thunder always follows lightning. As lightning heats the air gets so high it explodes out. It makes a sound we call thunder.
Snowflakes are not white. They're actually clear. When they clump together, they turn white. Now it's time for the Storm Game Show. It's time to meet your contestants.
Mr. Beans.
Hell. All of these questions are true or false. Every question you answer correctly is worth 5 points. The first question is, does a ring around the moon mean a storm is coming?
True.
You are right.
Tsunami actually means harbor wave. Calvin?
False.
True. That's correct.
Can a hurricane last 10 days?
True.
You got it correct. And the winner is Mr. Beans.
I'd like to share my money with Calvin.
Oh, I thank you, Mr. Beans. This is the greatest moment of our life.
Now you both get $9,000.
Congratulations.
Thanks for watching.
Do you know any weather tools and instruments meteorologists use to predict the weather?
Well, if not, we are going to show you some. Hi, I'm Emma, and this is my partner, Jaden. The first tool we are going to show you is called the barometer.
The barometer is a tool used to measure the air pressure.
The next tool we are going to show you is called the wind vane. It is used to tell which direction the wind is blowing. This is commonly found on top of barns.
This next tool is for all those tech people out there. It's called the weather satellite. It takes pictures from Earth to space. You can see the eye of a hurricane from this little camera.
You probably are familiar or know our next tool. It is the thermometer. It is a tool that's used to measure the temperature outside and inside. When you get sick, your mom tells you to put this little thing under your tongue.
This next instrument is going to be a demonstration, but first I'm going to tell you a little bit about it. It is called an anemometer, and it measures the wind speed. Now I am going to show you how it works.
Okay, so see this little dial right here? When you turn it, the red thing moves. And that will tell you like how fast or slow, or if it's high winds or low winds. Now you know some other tools and instruments. I hope you remember when you watch the news what these things are. Thanks for watching.
Hi, this is Spencer, and behind me is Logan.
Have you ever been watching the Weather Channel and wondered what the H's and L's are? Well, we are going to tell you.
Logan will show you what the high and low pressure do.
High pressure is when you have more pressure on something. Low pressure is when you have little pressure on something. High pressure is when air particles are close together.
Low pressure is when air particles are farther apart.
High pressure brings dry weather.
Low pressure brings wet weather.
So now you know what the H's and L's mean on a weather map. H's mean high pressure and L's mean low pressure. So in the future, you will know what the weatherman is talking about.
Welcome to Guess That Map, where we will test your knowledge about how much you know about weather maps. Let's meet our contestants, Cal and Emma. Okay, here's our first map.
It's a heat signature map.
That's correct.
Okay, here's the fast fact. Do you know weather maps help us by telling us what kind of weather is coming, such as a thunderstorm?
Here's the next map.
Current temperature map. Wow, here's our fast fact. Did you know that you read weather maps by looking at the key on the map?
Wow, I'm surprised you knew that one. Here's our next map. It's a wind map. Wrong. Cal, now's your chance to win. If you get this one right, you will win a 2013 orange Lamborghini.
A front map.
Correct. You win a 2013 orange Lamborghini.
Awesome!
And that's the show, and I hope you learned a lot about weather maps.
Wow, it is really raining out there.
I wonder what clouds make it rain and what clouds don't.
Well, a lot of clouds make it rain, but I'll tell you the basic clouds. Dakota, this is a cirrus cloud. They are high and thin and wispy. That means there will be good weather. Dakota, this is a stratus cloud. They are low and gray. That means that it might rain or snow soon. Dakota, this is a cumulus cloud. They are high and they are very puffy. That means that there will be good weather. Dakota, this is a cumulonimbus cloud. That means there will be a storm coming, so you should get inside soon. Well, did you learn anything about what I just taught you, Dakota?
I learned that different clouds bring different weather.
Well, let's go, Dakota. We have to hurry if we don't want to get wet.
Temperature and humidity can affect us in so many ways. What we wear, what we do, and the weather.
What I am wearing is for when the temperature is warm. Temperature is a measure of the warmth or coldness of an object. In the summer it is warm because the sun is high in the sky. Seasons change because the earth is tilted. So when one side of the earth is tilted toward the sun, that side gets hotter.
What I am wearing is for when the weather is cold. The temperature is cold in the winter because the sun is low in the sky. Also because the one side of the earth that you are on is tilted away from the sun.
The sun rays always hit the center of the earth,
which is the equator.
So when the temperature depends on where you live. The closer to the equator, the warmer you are. The further away from the equator, the colder you get.
Humidity is the amount of moisture in the air. When the temperature gets warmer, there is more moisture in the air. When the temperature gets colder, there is less moisture in the air. At night, air cools down and can't hold a lot of moisture.
So in the summer, like in this picture, the air is warm,
which means more moisture in the air. So in the winter, like in this picture, the air is cold,
which means there will be less moisture in the air. The less moisture in the air, the drier it gets. What we are doing in our demonstration is showing the amount of moisture in it. We are using a sponge and water. This is if the temperature is warm outside. When I squeeze the sponge, there's a lot of water coming out of it. The sponge is like the air and the water and the moisture in it. If we could squeeze the moisture out of the warm air, the amount of moisture would be more than if the air was cold. So remember, when the temperature is warm outside, wear the proper clothes. Clothes like this.
This sponge is if the temperature was cold outside. When I squeeze a sponge, there's not a lot of water coming out of it. If we could squeeze the moisture out of the cold air, the amount of moisture wouldn't be as much as when the air is warm. So remember, when the temperature is cold outside, wear clothes like these.
MSKJ News Team. Today we're answering the questions of how weather and forecasting works. But pay attention because there will be a quiz at the end. Now to Mackenzie.
Hello. Today I'm going to tell you about meteorology. Meteorologists study and forecast the weather. Weather forecasts are also based on hundreds of measurements. Meteorologists also use physics and chemistry. They help us plan for the day. They also warn us if there's a blizzard, flood, tornado, or hurricane alert. Now back to you, Kaylee.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Blizzards, thunder, lightning, tsunamis, flash floods, tornadoes, and hurricanes are all forms of weather.
Wow, and I would not like to be near any of that.
Now I'll talk to you about forecasting. Did you know that thousands of meteorologists and machines help predict the weather? Weather forecasts are also based on hundreds of measurements. There are special machines that help them. They also use weather maps too.
That's fascinating, but it looks like it's time for the quiz.
True or false? Meteorologists explain the weather.
What are two things meteorologists use to predict the weather?
Fill in the blanks. Meteorologists help us blank for the day.
What does a meteorologist show us in the morning to help them explain weather?
The answer for number 1 is true.
The answer for number 2 is physics and chemistry.
Fill in the blank. Meteorologists help us plan for the day.
Number 4. What does a meteorologist show in the morning? Weather maps.
Bye! Thanks for watching!